I'm here to present the details of an adolescent girl with post-COVID DVT. The history goes as follows. She's a 12-year-old adolescent girl who's second born to third-degree consanguineous parents. She was previously well and there was no history of any significant illness in the past. She was apparently well till June 2021 when she developed mild fever. So she was tested at that time and she was found to be COVID positive. She was treated with oral steroids and home isolation as she had only a mild symptomatic COVID-19. After that, she was apparently well for next 1 month when she developed some painful swelling of the right lower limb in the last week of July. So she was evaluated at her native place for the following, and she was diagnosed to have extensive deep vein thrombosis of right lower limb. So she was referred to higher center for further management. Then she was admitted in a private hospital in Chennai, and she was diagnosed as post-COVID thrombosis. So she underwent catheter-directed thrombolysis, and she was discharged home on warfarin. So 10 days after discharge, she again developed chest pain. So she was evaluated at nearby hospital, where the CT showed moderate right pleural effusion. So she was hospitalized again, and she was treated with IV antibiotics for a week, and she was discharged home. After that, she was well for next 1 month, except for some low-grade fever on and off. And also she had cough for a week and breathing difficulty for the last 2 days, for which she was brought to our hospital. Other histories, she had excessive hair fall. Otherwise, she did not have any history of skin rash or oral ulcers, no history of loss of weight or appetite, no history of any arthritis or no contact with TB. There was no family history of autoimmune disorders also. At admission, child was well nourished and she was hemodynamically stable except for tachypnea. She was maintaining saturation in room air. On auscultation, she had decreased air entry in the right side of her hemithorax, and on percussion, she had stony dullness on the right side of hemithorax, and right lower limb she had a swelling. So this was a admission X-ray which showed right-sided pleural effusion, massive effusion with mediastinal shift to the left. So the problems here is an adolescent girl with thrombus, pleural effusion, and fever. So our differential diagnosis were in the following order. First, we had first differential diagnosis was autoimmune disorder. Second was tuberculosis, and in the back of mind we had malignancy as third differential diagnosis. Management-wise, we withheld her warfarin, and diagnostic and therapeutic thrombosynthesis was planned. Right intercostal drainage was inserted, and 1000 ml of serosanguinous fluid was drained. So coming to the investigations, pleural fluid analysis was done, which was negative for TB. Expert TB was negative. Also AFP smear was negative. Also MAN2 was done, which was negative, and resting gastric juice resting gastric juice was also negative for TB. And pleural fluid analysis did not show any abnormal cells suggestive of malignancy too. Echocardiogram was done, which was normal, and ultrasound Doppler showed occlusive thrombus in the right external iliac and superior femoral vein. Other investigations, her hemogram was normal, ESR was mildly elevated, was 30, CRP was negative, DCT was 2+, ANA was positive, double-stranded DNA was positive, anti-Smith antibody was positive, anti-cardiolipin IgM antibody was equivocal. Her C3 and C4 were low, and she did not have any proteinuria. So with the above clinical picture and investigations, we took our pediatric rheumatologist opinion and we made the diagnosis of systemic lupus erythematosus with probable antiphospholipid syndrome. We labeled her as probable antiphospholipid syndrome because we were not able to do her lupus anticoagulant as she was on warfarin, and her anti-cardiolipin antibody was also equivocal. Treatment-wise, we started her on pulse MPS for 3 days, followed by oral prednisolone, along with hydroxychloroquine and azathioprine. After a week, her ICD was removed, and this was the X-ray before we removed her ICD, and she was restarted on warfarin. She was doing well, and she was discharged home. So the reason why we wanted to present this case is that if it had been not for a COVID-19 pandemic, an adolescent girl with thrombotic phenomena, we will obviously think of autoimmune disorder as the first probable diagnosis. But here, because of the COVID-19, the diagnosis was being misled. So we do not see post-COVID thrombosis as much in pediatrics like we see in adults. But here the COVID-19 became the misleading factor. So we just wanted to emphasize on the fact that we have to think twice before we make any diagnosis related to COVID. Thank you. I want to thank Dr. Janani, Dr. Venkateshwari, and our pediatric rheumatologist, Dr. Mahesh Janardhanan. Thank you, everyone.